Hello, my name is Lindsey Dixon and I am the Global Journals Director and the Vice President for Asia Pacific with Gruyter. I've actually lived here in Asia Pacific for nearly a decade, and during that time I've had the privilege to work with many of you watching this seminar, and I hope that I have the opportunity to partner with many more of you in future years as well. I'm very disappointed, very sad not to be with you in Beijing today, but I am delighted that using technology available to us, the conference is able to go ahead, and that I have the opportunity to talk with you about partnering to succeed. And over the next half an hour or so, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the considerations that you might have as a publisher yourself or as a journal operator. And through sharing some of the de Gruyter experiences, I hope to highlight some of the options available to us all as stakeholders in the publishing ecosystem to create win-win partnerships when we do look to publish together. So I'm going to be talking for about half an hour, and during the presentation I'm going to minimize myself so I don't get in the way of any of the slides and I don't cause too much of a distraction. So for those of you who have not heard of de Gruyter, or it's not a familiar name, I'd like to offer you a brief introduction to who we are and to what we do. And I thought the easiest way to start with that was to share our value proposition to you. We are an independent publisher with 270 years of history in publishing across books, databases and journals in all subjects from STM, social sciences through to humanities. De Gruyter stands for excellence in publishing. It looks to provide quality solutions for the challenges that researchers and professionals face. And that is as true today as it was in 1749 when we launched. We are still completely family owned, so enjoy that independence, but have enough experience to skillfully adapt to changing publishing environments. For example, we were an early adopter of open access publishing, and our open access credentials are indisputable. We support any and all realistic and sustainable initiatives that nurture open publishing. Our independence provides the ability to be nimble, to be flexible, to experiment with our partners, and to make sure that we're meeting their needs. Many of our partners, be they authors, institutions, societies, or associations, come to us based on recommendations from their peers, and our reputation is really based on competence, a personal touch, and the desire to exceed expectations. And it's really our size that allows us to be able to offer customized services which distinguish us from our competitors. And we hold partner satisfaction above all else. It influences our progress and it determines our success. And we started out back in 1749, back in Berlin. And we still have a large presence there and also an office in Munich, but we're really a global operation, including having an office in Beijing, which was founded almost a decade ago. But Germany was where we started. It's where we have our biggest base still. And we have a very robust German language portfolio across books and journals. We have a lot of experience in making non-English language content available to a global audience, and that's part of what we do day to day. We are seeing that there are trends to translate German language content into English, or for some of our products to accept only English language content to internationalize the books and the journals in this portfolio. It's still a really important part of what we do, and we are still looking to grow this element of our portfolio. Across the broader portfolio, outside of Germany, we have a large portfolio and we're publishing growing amounts of content annually. And our books business was where we started and where we're growing both in the amount of content that we're publishing and the options that we're presenting to our authors. And they are able to publish in many more manners than they have been able to previously. On the journal side, we have approximately 900 journals and more than 50% of those are published on a gold open access basis. across both our De Gruyter and our Ciendo imprints. The majority of our De Gruyter-owned portfolio is in the social sciences and humanities, and this gives us a unique perspective on the impact of initiatives and mandates on authors across all subjects. So having this perspective, we need to ensure any policy, any service or process is applicable to authors across the whole range of subjects, not just concentrating on STM, for example. We have more than 200 society partners with whom we publish, and for them we provide services and expertise to assist in the publishing of their journals and books. And we also have nearly 20 university presses with whom we partner to provide global access to their content, and I'll be explaining a little bit more about these partnerships over the next few slides. Our mission is pretty simple. We look to be a trusted partner of scholars, regardless of the discipline, the background or origin. And we support them in their endeavour to give their best and to give the progression of scientific knowledge their all. To us, partnership is absolutely central to our strategy, and this is what I really want to concentrate on today. We look to create new opportunities to promote, disseminate and protect knowledge. And we do this not only as a service provider, but as a true partner and as a promoter of discovery. I think this is particularly true for journals, and for smaller publishers, we need to make sure that ensuring visibility, accessibility of content and the services that we provide to support researchers globally are competing with the bigger, more established publishers. Our role really is to connect researchers with scientific knowledge, nurture interdisciplinary exchange, and hopefully contribute to wider conversations and progress in society. And so partnerships is really central to this, and central to our partnerships is fairness, trust, and equality. We base our relationships with our authors and with our partnerships on these principles, and it's exactly the same way that we interact with each other within De Gruyter as well. As I mentioned, we are an independent publishing house with a long tradition of cooperating closely with the scholarly community. We are big enough to matter, yet small enough to listen, and believe that open and honest exchange leads to benefits for all of us and all of our partners. And so to share with you our university press partnership, I think this really is a great demonstration of a win-win situation and how different publishing entities can partner to benefit each other. In this partnership, De Gruyter offers essentially a collection of top-class scholarly content all under one roof. We provide content from all of these university presses on our degruyter.com website. And I want to stress that we are not a content aggregator in this partnership. We are a true partner of these university presses. These partners are looking for assistance in gaining global visibility for their content. And as you can see, these aren't small university presses. Our partners include Harvard, Yale, and Cornell. I'm sure you have heard of them. And these partnerships work because of the mutual benefit. For our university press partners, they get full integration on our De Gruyter online platform. And through this, we can offer them worldwide distribution. And using our global reach and our infrastructure, we can help them achieve sales and marketing promotion in geographies where they may not have the resources or the facilities to do this. They also benefit from working with us on the business development side. They get increased visibility of their content through search on our website. They benefit from the constant improvements we're making to our platform through monthly software development cycles that on their own they couldn't afford to do. They benefit from participation in all of the De Gruyter business models, so they benefit from us negotiating on their behalf, and we're able to offer them the economies of scale in arrangements that, because of the virtue of our size, we get more cheaply, but we allow them to remain independent. And that independence is absolutely crucial to us as we recognise the value in their brand. So each partner has individual branding, and it's complete clarity on what content comes from which university press. From our perspective, the inclusion of such high quality content allows us to provide a complete subject breadth to our content offering, and it helps attract usage to our broader portfolio. We're able to offer our customers content of the highest quality and that is highly relevant to the different subject areas that we offer. So what we're looking to do is offer content that complements the De Gruyter portfolio rather than compete with it. And I think what makes this a different arrangement is the way that we look to provide individualized services and that we tailor our offerings to the needs of the partner. And we apply the same logic to our partnership with societies, with associations and institutes. And mainly for these bodies here that I've listed, we're providing publishing services and expert analysis to assist them in the development of their journals. Many of these partnerships have been ongoing for decades, and the benefit to the societies are that they retain complete control of their journal editorially. They retain ownership. What we do is provide technologies, services, analysis, and processes to these societies' journals to enable them to compete on a global stage. That could be wanting to attract authors to publish in their journals, as they are able to illustrate the reach and the impact that they can offer. Again, we have the economies of scale to be able to provide such services in a cost-efficient manner, and that wouldn't be possible if they were to do that independently. We also look to provide expert analysis and development to help these societies achieve their ambitions for their journals, be that to achieve an impact factor or increase their impact factor, increase internationalization of their journals, speed up publication times, or future-proof their journals against a changing landscape. For example, we'll be publishing the Journal of American Osteopathic Association next year. And in the process of taking on board this journal, we've helped the society transition from a subscription journal to an open access journal. Our experience in this area made us the perfect partner to provide management of this. I mentioned we talk about all of these partnerships being win-win, and the benefit for De Gruyter in taking on these society partnerships is that we benefit from having the quality content as part of our portfolio. Quality of content is really the core of everything we do, so having this quality content can be a complement to the content that we're already publishing. It helps us attract more usage and hopefully more subscriptions as well. We also benefit from receiving knowledge from the subject communities of the societies which we publish. So we have an opportunity to work with really knowledgeable partners to share what the needs are of a particular market segment. So we're really benefiting from their insight. And this is definitely true from the partners that we work with here in China. We've a number of society partners here, and through partnering with these entities, we understand better what the needs are of the Chinese researchers. And we need this information so that we can tailor and improve our services specifically to Chinese researchers and make sure that we are understanding the requirements of the Chinese market. We're also partnering with a number of local China-based publishers, and for our local publishers in China, they have great reputations within the Chinese market, and what we're offering is connectivity to international scholars. We can really look to help these local publishers attract high-quality authors to publish with them, with the opportunity to have their work published with De Gruyter. So we're providing that international visibility, the accessibility, and the discoverability. We work really closely with our local partners to provide insight and analysis on what we see will have appeal to the broadest market, and also provide the resources to them to manage to sell and distribute this content globally. For the De Gruyter part, we're really gaining connectivity to the market and connectivity to the content from China that we wouldn't easily be able to access. So our China-based partners also provide many insights on the local market and what topics are hot within the Chinese domestic market. So it's definitely a two-way street partnership, and there are mutual benefits on both sides. I mentioned a large proportion of our portfolio is in the social sciences and humanities areas, and some of it is in German and other non-English languages. And we work with a number of research communities, so we're keen to take on all considerations we can for creating openness. The number of policies and models for transitioning for subscription to open access have really centered around STM journal publishing, and specifically STM publishing in Europe. De Gruyter believed that the transition away from the current model should be based on fairness, broader quality of outcome, and, of course, openness. And the current policies, I would say Plan S particularly, do little to support this transition for research outside of STEM, outside of Europe, and outside of journal article publishing. Lessons learned from our experience of Plan S specifically are that one size does not fit all, and perhaps more extensive partnership through consultation and collaboration before announcing policies would have been more effective. There is a real need for transparent dialogue between all parties, be they funders, libraries, associations, journal editors, individual academics, or publishers. And we all need to commit to the pace of this change and how we develop a community-based approach with appropriate solutions that deliver sustainable, open outcomes for all researchers, regardless of their chosen field of inquiry or regardless of their location. De Gruyter publishes over nearly 900 journals, as I said, and currently more than half of our journals are available as pure open access or gold open access. And for the rest of the portfolio, almost all have an option to publish articles on an open access basis. As you can see, the majority of our portfolio are in the humanities and social sciences. So we need to make sure that we're providing options for the researchers to publish in these fields in an open manner. The subject split for our open titles is mirrored here, and most of our OA journals are in social sciences and humanities. And so we need to make sure that those authors can choose to publish open access if they want. And we've looked to partner with entities to provide sponsorship arrangements for these journals rather than an article publishing charge-based model to allow these authors to publish open access. Touching on books very briefly, despite its modest size, De Gruyter actually provides one of the largest original concept open access book collections in the world. And we have more than 2,700 titles available to anyone, anywhere, and at any time. But again, as you can see from this chart here, the majority of the books that we're publishing are in the humanities areas. In humanities, book publishing is still a very important format to publish, and open access book publishing in this field is very strong. So I'm using this background to illustrate that this is, for us, why it's particularly important that we need to ensure that communities we serve are being provided with viable routes to publish their research in an impactful, sustainable manner, which adheres to funder mandates and provides them with options to make their research open. We can only achieve this through partnership. We've been doing this for a while. De Gruyter first transformed journals from subscription to OA back in 2015, and our experience varies across subject communities. Many of the issues that we see in humanities and social sciences titles also impact regionally based journals or those in local language. Simply flipping these journals have significant issues. It's not possible for the vast majority of these journals to simply flip to an article-based open access model where the author is paying for these APCs. Funding for the humanities, unlike funding for much of STM areas, is not usually centralised and often comes from educational institutions directly rather than well-endowed foundations. And more importantly for this conversation, we sense that HSS research tends to have a national focus, or it is published in local language, where availability of funding is often even more difficult to identify and even more difficult to secure. For HSS titles and also local language titles, we see that there are substantial numbers of other types of articles published other than original research, such as book reviews, review articles, etc. And these types of articles are very difficult to secure funding. It's very uncommon for funding to be made available to publish such articles in an open access manner, even though they are equally important for the development of research in different subjects. We also see that many HSS journals and often regionally based journals serve relatively small research communities and combine low publication volumes with high rejection rates. So it's just not going to be possible for them to be able to provide the same level of services to their communities on the basis of a small number of capped article publishing charges. Even if the funding was available, it would not make sense to set up a wide range of new open access venues that coexist with subscription journals for those authors that have no funding. So we need to look at how we are serving this market and make sure that we are offering flexibility to do so. We're taking a number of different routes, and the basis of our approach comes back to partnerships. Only through working with our communities can we offer flexibility and experimentation within that community. So this is what we're doing at De Gruyter. We are working with our subject communities to experiment with different models. Firstly, in terms of payments, be it that they're author paid or they're freemium models, that they're crowdsourced, or that they're sponsored or subsidized by societies or co-funded by a library consortia. We're also looking to experiment with embargo periods and provide deposition of manuscripts to institutional repositories. It's absolutely essential that we have to work with our community to understand what can be sustainable over the long term. And I really would like to be having more conversations here in China to understand what that looks like from a Chinese perspective. And I think having more conversations and more voices from China is the last thing I wanted to concentrate on and talk about how we are a part of and a partner of the industry. I mentioned that given our humanities and social sciences considerations, we have had the opportunity to feed this perspective into the ongoing conversations in the industry globally. We've partnered with other humanities and social sciences and other small to medium enterprise publishers to put forward perspectives to the likes of Plan S. And we're part of a coalition of publishers that have written a joint statement on Plan S and the ways to support open access in the humanities and social sciences. We've also benefited greatly from our membership of international organisations such as STM to be able to put coordinated responses to these global conversations. And I think ensuring that initiatives have truly global perspectives is absolutely essential. We need to get more voices into those conversations. We need, as an industry, to collaborate to ensure that we are looking at what research looks like from different subjects, from different geographies, and from different perspectives. We need to make sure that this isn't a European or a US conversation. It needs to be truly global. Conversations of this nature need to take into account the needs of different peoples globally. And I think that's a two-way benefit. We also have industry insights, and we are able to keep abreast of what's ongoing from our involvement in these entities. And I think that information would be more valuable with more Asia-Pacific publishers and more Chinese publishers involved. And it also allows the promotion of these bodies and the information they offer to allow you to keep up to date with what's happening globally. This is one of the great ways that we have benefited from being a partner of the industry, and I wanted to share how De Gruyter was working as part of the STM Association to enable us to offer a research data policy that was really at an industry standard. we're collaborating with researchers, institutes, funders, repositories, and other research data infrastructure parties to make data sharing the new norm. And this is a direct benefit from being a member of STM. We are also a member of the STM Research Data Group and the data group's 2020 Research Data Year initiative. So we are taking action to achieve harmonisation and standardisation of a research data ecosystem that is crucial for user-friendly processes and good data management. So for this purpose, we're embracing the guidelines of the 6 policy framework developed by the Research Data Alliance that provides maximum flexibility in adapting the level of commitment to the requirements of each publication. The benefit for us is that we don't have to do all the research on what should be the norm on our own. We really benefit from the collaboration and the research undertaken by members of the group listed here. For us, we're leveraging on the experience and the expertise made available to members of STM and looking to implement this to ensure that we're employing international standards. I would really strongly encourage you to look at this initiative and assess this framework and reference it to potentially implementing a policy or a set of policies that would be relevant for your journals and your communities. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today. Thank you for your time. And I really do want to stress that there are many opportunities for journals and publishers to partner with different entities to leverage our individual strengths. And I think it really is about identifying what you want to achieve and what assistance you could need, but also what you have to offer as a partner. A true partnership is win-win. It is a two-way street, so there are benefits for both parties. And I think it's really important that we appreciate the different perspective we can get from having a partner and make sure that we're all thinking holistically to achieve policies that are applicable to all. Partnership can mean being a contributing party at an industry level, and I really stress we would all benefit from more Asia Pacific and more China voices in those conversations. My colleague Wendy Ding will be available to answer questions in the Q&A session, and I hope to be back in Beijing very soon. Thank you for your attention and enjoy the rest of the conference.